I am with Fiona Gilligan here in Ottawa, Ontario, with Parliament in the background. Fiona, you're a very special woman in a lot of ways. You're one of the few female founders and few successful female entrepreneurs in Canada. You successfully sold your business for a big bag of cash, and now you're taking a lot of that energy that you have to try and help other female founders and celebrate them. You said this term the other day that I've been loving since. What's your secret sauce?
My secret sauce is that as a female founder, as a successful entrepreneur, I've always seized opportunities that break past my comfort zone. And that's really been one of the key cornerstones of my success, is the fact that I'm an opportunity seeker. And once I find something that I think is really amazing, I'm able to break through my comfort zone and then break through the barrier and go for it.
Now, you talk a lot about female founders, which is important because women need to learn a lot of those skills and develop and balance the pendulum a little bit. But why, as long as we consider people female or male, isn't that keeping the duality and perpetuating that instead of just focusing on good founders of businesses?
Well, my number one passion is getting people to think differently and getting people to really think about entrepreneurship as a viable career choice. The way the economy is shifting, we're going to need to have more and more innovation to stay competitive on the global market. But also, people are really going to have to become, what I always say, the architect of their own life, which is they're going to have to create their own incomes and learn how to save and budget and really, sort of be their own little ecosystem. Because public jobs and employment, it's a fairly unstable market, and things are changing. The world is changing. So self-employment is something that I'm really encouraging a lot of people to look at. However, if you look at the stats on women and entrepreneurship, it's not great. So Female Founders for me is the network that I've created that we're hoping to bring throughout Canada, which is by role modeling successful self-made women who then become mentors and sponsors. We're showing Canadians this is what, as women entrepreneurs, we've achieved and what we're going to continue to achieve. It's not going to be directed specifically at women, but as women, we hope to create more role models so little girls can look at us and say, wow, I can be, a doctor, here's a female doctor, here's a lawyer, female lawyer, but wow, I can be an entrepreneur. Because if you look at the stats of women in entrepreneurship, it's still very, very low.
Now, when you talk about entrepreneurship, there's people that will say open up a bakery or a little mom and pop shop, or they have a dream of having a pet shop or something. You're talking way up the food chain when it comes to being an entrepreneur. Like, for instance, you as an angel investor and as a venture capitalist, you're looking at what budget points?
There are different types of entrepreneurship. There are lifestyle entrepreneurs, so someone who's doing a business where they're only employing themselves and maybe one or two people. That's more of a lifestyle entrepreneur. I'm really trying to encourage people to go out and open up companies that's actually going to stimulate job growth by creating jobs. So for example, when I had my company, we had almost 250 people across Canada with dominance in Ontario that were contractors. We had an employee base. So entrepreneurship is not only good for the person in terms of having a better chance of acquiring personal wealth and real job satisfaction because you're doing what you love 24/7, but it's also stimulating the economy by creating job growth.
Why become a public speaker and be visible in the manner that you're becoming very, very quickly here in Canada, instead of just focusing on being an entrepreneur yourself? What is it about sharing and focusing on other female founders that works for you?
That's a really good question, Jamie, because for me there isn't one simple answer. When I built my first company almost 20 years ago, there were no mentors or role models for me, especially women founders. So I bootstrapped my own company. I did it on my own. I learned as I went. I made a lot of mistakes that I could have avoided. If I'd had a network of people that I could have tapped into that were like me, I didn't have that. So that's the number one reason, is I think that we can have we can have greater levels of success for entrepreneurs if we create networks. I think girls and women need specific networks because a lot of us have faced issues of, do we have children? When do we have children? You look at the statistics, women are still doing a lot of the household responsibilities and things like that. So Female Founders is not about gender politics, it's about smart business. We need to get more women engaged in business, and we need to help them be successful. Creating successful role models is it. Why I'm a public speaker? I'm absolutely passionate about Canada. I think that given the global recession that we're having, Canada's done extremely well, but I think we could do even better by creating more innovation right here at home. But As a public speaker, I guess, when you're passionate about something, you kind of want to share the love. And for me, entrepreneurship is really about sharing the love. And other than being, a parent, it's the best thing I ever did with my life. And it's because I created something that I was passionate about that made a difference in the world. Another reason why I'm a public speaker is I think it's a lot of fun. I love having people come up to me, say, you're my inspiration, if you can do it, I can do it. Getting emails from people after I speak saying, wow, I'm going to leave the job I've been in for 10 years because I'm so bored, and I'm going to take the plunge into entrepreneurship. And I guess, the final reason for me is that I sort of feel it's a bit of a civic responsibility that I have, that I've done so well, that I now give back. We need to have more common entrepreneurs coming forward. I think celebrity entrepreneurs have definitely opened up the field and made entrepreneurship sexy and great, mm-hmm. but not all entrepreneurs are going to become multi-millionaires or billionaires. The majority of entrepreneurs are going to become independently wealthy, hopefully, but not big dollar wealthy. They may end up, having a net worth of $1 million or slightly less, or they may be in the $1 million to $20 million range. But we need to create more role models as entrepreneurs that are reachable for the average entrepreneur. Mm-hmm. And that's what I feel I am. I've done extremely well by working my tail off, but I'm also not out of the leagues of people in terms of being a mentor and a role model.